Bienvenidos a todos. Thank you all for coming today. My name is Victor Goda. I'm the treasurer of the New York Capital Region Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you today. What we'd like to do, I'd like to present you Mr. Patrick Madden. He is the mayor of Troy. I'd like to present you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I am the mayor of Troy. I have the great good fortune of doing that for another 9 months and 2 days. I want to welcome you all to Troy. If you're not from Troy, I know a lot of you aren't, so welcome to Troy. I hope you enjoy your time here. I hope you come back sometime and see our farmers market and visit our restaurants, etc. I'm delighted to be here with you. I thank you for the invitation. I'd like to share in congratulating Carmen Perez Hogan. I understand she's not here tonight, but I'd like to join in your recognition of her efforts in the community and her efforts in education. So I'll leave this certificate with you. I have a quote, one of my favorite quotes, and it's I'm going to read it because I can't remember it. It's by a guy named Roberto Clemente. Has anybody heard of him? And he said, if you have a chance to accomplish something that will make things better for people coming behind you, and you don't do that, you are wasting your time on earth. He didn't sugarcoat it. I believe that. And I believe Carmen does as well, and I believe that each and every one of you do as well. And that's why you were involved in the chamber. As someone who's approaching probably the end of my career, more so than the beginning of my career, I understand how things are different today and how difficult it is for those who are coming along. And they need our hands. They need us to reach out to them. They need us to guide them. And that is the essence of community. So I thank you for everything that you all do individually. I thank you for what the Chamber does to bring those behind us along and make this a stronger community. So I look forward to tonight's panel discussion. Enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd also like to take a few minutes to introduce the president of the new WMHT TV station, Mr. Anthony Hayes. If you don't mind.
So good afternoon, everyone. It is my sincere pleasure to be here with all of you. And so I appreciate the invitation. I just received it this week, and once it was extended to me, I said, of course I had to be here, and so I'm grateful. I am new to WMHT, the new president and CEO, but I'm also new to the area. And so there's much that I have to learn about the area. And what I'm trying to do, what I'm focused on is more growth, more outreach, more connection. And so I appreciate this opportunity. I want to have the opportunity to work more closely with you, find opportunities for synergy for us to work together, invite you to the organization, invite you to the station. We're starting to give more tours, doing more with outreach, doing more with growth and expansion and community engagement. These are areas of focus for me. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to connect with you, whether it's on LinkedIn. You may have noticed that there have been more recently some articles written about me and articles written about WMHT. My contact information is in there. If you want, I have my business card. I just want to connect with you and find opportunities for us to work together. I love to be more engaged with with your community and just find opportunities for synergy. So I thank you very much. I thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you. And then, obviously, last but not least, I'd like to introduce Laudelina Martinez. She's going to be our moderator tonight, and I'm going to turn it over to her.
So thank you for coming this evening. I think I'll talk to you sitting. We have a 19th century piece that I thought would make could do the job of being a podium, but there's no need for us to have a podium, you know, as women, and most of this audience is female, for which I'm happy. as women, we kind of like to be on a peer-to-peer basis, you know, not one higher than the other. I'm really happy with the group that we have. This whole idea of celebrating women's, the March as Women's History made us think of all the various people, all the various women who were in the capital region, who did not receive an awful lot of applause for the kinds of things that they did. I know that there are a number of women that I see as models, as people who were doing all kinds of interesting things. When I arrived many years ago at Albany. At that time, the Hispanic population was somewhere around 2%. Since then, we have been growing, and we are one of the fastest growing, supposedly, but of course, we don't really have that many. Upstate New York, particularly the three counties that represent Albany, Schenectady, and Rensselaer, are truly majority Northern European counties. So Latinos are a small number, and African Americans also a small number, but we are very much engaged in the daily life. Latinas in particular have been somewhat invisible. And tonight what I was hoping was that we would mention as many of the Latinas' names as we could, that we remember them. I believe that when someone's voice goes into the universe with somebody's name, in some way we are honoring their memory. So that's one of the things that I'm hoping we will do tonight. So before we get to talk, I was hoping that we would be able to have you stand up, tell us who you are, and also tell us if there's any Latina that you remember from the capital region. It doesn't have to be a famous, quote-unquote, Latina. It can be a relative of yours. It could be someone that you grew close to. But we want to remember their names today, and I don't think this will take an awful lot of time. Would you mind being the first?
I totally think of, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, the first time here. Yes.
Good.
And yeah, the first time here, I could only say my Bronte. I could only say her, she's an entertainer.
That's great.
Hi everyone, I'm Bronte Roman, and I'm just so pleased to see about 4 or 5 familiar faces here, but so good to see everyone. Bronte Roman, I'm a singer from Brooklyn, New York, moved up here about 5 or 6 years ago, and was invited here with Yvette, and I'm excited to get to know as many folks as I can here, and to support the community. As far as Latinas, I will just mention Yvette's name.
Gustavo.
Muchas gracias, buenas tardes. Un placer de estar aquí dentro de todas las mujeres tan bellas in the Capital District area. My name is Gustavo Santos. I'm a candidate for town board in Guildford. For the first time, a Latino is running for town board. And one particular person that I want to remember is Luz Allende. She was Assistant Commissioner of the New York State Department of Transportation. And that is the reason why I am in the New York State Department of Transportation. I work there in the Office of Construction. And I'm just glad to be here among all of you. And muchas gracias por su invitación. Muchas gracias.
My name is Douglas. My partner Gladys is from New Jersey, and she's Latina. I enjoyed any time I get to be with the community and to spend time with their family. It seems to be much more family-oriented than the way I grew up being Northern European. and I enjoy that a great deal. And so anytime I can support the Latina community, I want to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Gladys Valverde. I'm fairly new to the capital region, new as in 4 years, so I guess I'm part of that growing population. But yes, I am Latina, and I guess if I'm trying to think of someone who, I don't think she's in this room, but who I feel like I've heard, make a great impact, maybe Nikki Jimenez from the forgetting the thing right now. But, yes, thank you. Yeah, but I'll just call her out.
Hi, I'm Nicole Van Hal. I currently work for the State of New York and the ESC. I'm the Vice President of Workforce Development for the Office of Strategic Workforce Development. I can only think of people who are in this area. My apologies, I can't.
That's okay.
No worries.
Tonight you'll know many more.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just a camera guy.
Behind you.
Hi everyone, my name is Janai. I'm with 518 Elevated. It's nice to see everyone. And I guess the Latina that I will highlight is my 6th grade teacher. She did a lot of not only teaching me math, but also exposing me to her culture. So.
Hi everyone, I'm with Janai with 518 Elevated, and we work with students in Albany, Schenectady, and Troy. And some of those are from the Latina community, so we thought it would be good to start to build a little bit more of that connection. So we're happy to be here.
Hello everybody, my name is Nadine Rivera, and I'm originally born and raised in the Bronx, but I've been here for the past 13 years. Oh my God! I'm sorry, I know probably not said bye. But I really want to take this moment to commemorate Maria Inez, and she was the former commissioner for the Office of Children and Family Services. At that time, I was a fellow for the governor's office, and right now I work for the Office of the Speaker in the Assembly as his Deputy Secretary for Intergov and External Affairs. So I'm happy to be here.
Alexandra Berthium, thank you Marcela for inviting me. I'm from Ecuador, currently in Latina. And all I can think of is all my successful friends, Marcela, Delma, she's a professor, a Spanish professor. I'm sorry, I'm my friend here. So I don't know.
I'm Delma Wood. I'm a professor at Castleton University, and I'm from Argentina. And the person that I can think of, that she was like, Argentinians are known for exaggerating things, but she was the first Argentinian to land in the capital region, and her name is Rosa Tabora. Yes. Yeah, she definitely did a lot of things. She organized, always representing Argentina in the Festival of Nations. It was really good to connect with her when I first moved here from New York City.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn Corey. I am originally from Manhattan, was born in the Dominican Republic, and I came here about 20 years up to the Capital District. One of the first people that I met here, one of the first, I felt like I was the only Latina person here when I moved up here. And the one that I met was Marcela Dunn, and we've been friends ever since. Proud to call her my best friend. She's an awesome architect, and so I want to call her out.
Hi, my name is Marcela Godá. I've been here for 18 years. Victor's minister. And
tragedy, because I was thinking, first I run into my other woman in my family arrived, and then I'm like, okay, I need to talk about somebody in the capital region. And of course she's not here, I didn't tell her about coming, but she's, I'm gonna get, because I was crying, but anyways. So, when she was very young, she opened an organization in the Saratoga County in a program to help all the Latin families in Saratoga County. And then I lost my job as an architect, so I started translating for people, and I found out about that organization. So I worked with them for 3 years as a social worker. So I just want to, she's amazing. Crystal Whitney, she's the director of these Living Works right now. But I mean, she was like a teenager when she decided to help the Latin community. She's from America, and she's done a lot for this world. So if you don't know her, get to know her.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Benny Luzosa. I am Mexican, and obviously I know Marcela and Victor, but one of the Latinas that have been instrumental in my life here in the capital region, which I have been almost 23 years, is Cynthia Ortiz. She took care of raising my the faith in my kids. She's just amazing, and she does volunteering, which she's just a loving person.
My name is Maria Martinez. I came from Puerto Rico around 50 years ago, and I want to remember somebody, but I don't remember her name exactly. But she worked in Central Civico in Albany. I think she was Sidori, something like that, her name. I think she was who helped me a lot with my kids when I came here. My son has speech delay and other issues with all that stuff, and they helped me a lot with that. Now my son is around 18 years old. You know, and I say thank you for that.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gina Torres. I own a company called Get Local 518, which is a business entrepreneurship mentoring company. I would like to shout out Sierra for being the one to invite me. Malians, I've done a few events with you in the past. Actually, we've done quite a few. I just want to congratulate you on your work, and then someone who's not here is Brenda Badham. I would love to shout her out as well. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ciara. I'm a project manager for a nonprofit. I'm also a small business owner that I career coach women of color. I'm also from the Bronx, we gotta connect. I was born in New York City, my family is from Puerto Rico, but I've been here almost 10 years, so I would say I'm an Albany native. I also want to shout out Gina and of course Brenda. She has introduced me to the chamber. She took me under her wing as as her mentee, helping women networking and push to grow my career. So I'm so grateful for her. She's Assistant Attorney General, and she's also serving on the board for the Hispanic Chamber, and she continues to connect and touch lives. So she should be here momentarily, but I would want to tribute to her.
Hi, I'm Gilda Fernandez, and I was born in Puerto Rico, moved to New York City, and then came up to Albany to go to school, to college, SUNY Albany. And I've been here since then. So I've been here since 1972. And like you said, there were only maybe 1 or 2 people here when I first started. But it has grown quite big. And I'm so glad to see all these women here. There are a lot of people that I know. And I do want to call out Mickey Jimenez. She's actually my sister-in-law, and she's a great person. She does a lot for the community. And she would have been here, but they have an event actually scheduled. Yes. So thank you.
It's good to see you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Sandra Grady. I work at Maria College. Really don't know what to tell you. I grew up in California, so I have a lot of Latino friends out there, but I'm slowly meeting people here, and I'm excited to get involved with your organization. As far as people that I know Joe Bonilla from Relentless Wear. One of my good friends out here is Andy Perez, and I'm just looking forward to get to know all of you too.
Good evening. My name is Diane Bombotsite. I am from the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
I immigrated in the U.S. 8 years ago, and I just became a citizen a week ago.
Now she's a Latina.
And I own also a small business, so I'll be happy to connect with you. So I came here as an asylum seeker, I became homeless, and now I'm a business owner. So I am very proud of my heritage. And this is my husband, and last month we went in Puerto Rico. That was my first connection with the Latinas. It's beautiful. I learned the connection about music with the Congo, my country, and I really heard that beat. I was just so proud of it. And thank you for having me here. And my business is called Akula Interpreting and Translation LLC. I work with translators and interpreters. And I remember Miguelina Fabienne, one of the interpreters I work with. She's so amazing. She also worked for Centro Civico at the time. Okay. Thank you.
She said it better than I can. But I work for her now. I'm actually her first employee.
Hi, I'm Cassandra. I'm not good at talking, I'm sorry. I am Puerto Rican, and as far as anyone who has been like an impact, like the Latinas impacted me, I would have to say is Ladon. I grew up with a lot of programs from Centro Civico in Amsterdam, and Ladon has helped me a lot personally and has influenced me professionally to do better and be better. Thank you, Ladon. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alish. I'm here with Cassandra. We're both from Amsterdam, and we work with Amazon, and we're a part of the affinity group, Latinas at Amazon. And we just came to enjoy the community and listen to everybody's stories. As for a Latina that I would like to recognize is Ladon. Thank you for making Centro Civico possible and for taking us on all those trips to the conferences. Like growing up in high school, we used to go to all like the Si Se Puedes and all that stuff. Thanks to Centro. So.
Sorry. Hello, my name is Andrea. I'm from Honduras, and I recently moved to Albany, so I really don't know anyone here. And, yeah, and I'm an environmental engineer.
Buenas noches. My name is Daniel Pasco Aguilar. I am new to Albany, so I am here to meet people and to explore collaboration opportunities. I am representing Excelsior University. I'm in a new position of the institution. I'm the founding director of the Center for Social Justice and Chief Diversity Officer of the university. I am here to meet and to get to know you, so I don't know yet Latina women who have impacted my life in the capital region. But I was born and grew up in Mexico City, and I am here because of the amazing work and support that I have received from people who brought me up and who educated me, and a lot of Latino women who I cherish so much. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you and to work with you.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Marina, and I'm another person from Brooklyn. I've been here about, I guess, 35 years. I'm an attorney, and I just recently retired from UAlbany. And the work that I did was regulatory compliance, which centered on the protection of research subjects. And as we know, people of color have had a bad history with research, the Tuskegee, and there was recently this week the Willowbrook Remembrance, and speaking about the study that happened there. My son is actually Joe Bonilla, and I am, in my retirement, I'm working with him for his company. And so with that in mind, who I think of when I moved here, Antonio Novella, as the former commissioner, the health department commissioner. And she was very impactful, and at the university, she helped support the Center for Elimination of Minority Health Disparities, which is so important. And I'll just add one more. My doctor that I have, that I'm so lucky to find, her name is Josefina Marin. She's in Clifton Park. She's a wonderful doctor. Because when you speak with her, she speaks with you as an individual, and she brings the research about how the drugs and what treatment we get as women and Latinas, that the research that's not being done that we could benefit from.
Hi, I'm Laura Morales, and I am a Medicare advisor for WellCare. We are also a part of Fidelis. I actually want to honor two people today. I would like to honor my mom, because growing up, I feel like she taught me a lot. And even though she left early, I feel like I see her every day in us, you know, and what she taught me and what I see happening as well. Other women inspiring, empathetic, and just so much love, you know, because that's the representation of women, is that we are loved and that we are caring. And I remember when I was little, we used to do these dances. We called them bailes típicos de Ecuador. And my dad is from Ecuador, and my mom and dad used to do them. And I want to honor La Dama, because I've known her for that long, and I just remember those dances and those beautiful memories. And when my mom actually passed, La Dama sent me a really beautiful picture of her that I hold dear. So thank you.
I don't need to make you cry. But let's go on.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carlene. I got married since then, and thank you. So my parents moved here from Puerto Rico, and I like to say I was born on the RPI campus because they were doing their graduate programs. And I currently serve as the Assistant Dean for Student Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. And we're looking for some MD mentors, so I'm going to connect with you too. I'm so excited to be in this space and to meet everyone, and I actually want to introduce the person who I came here with, Ishbel Correa Narvaez. She had to step out to run a STEP program, and then she's going to come right back, so she's doing that virtually, and she moved to the United States when she was like 9 years old from Puerto Rico also, and we both work at Albany Med. Happy to be here. Yeah.
Michael.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I want to shout out Mickey and Mickey's sister, Nancy Hernandez, who works as a New York State Deputy Comptroller for Diversity Management. And
Good evening. Michael Barrett, an old retired Irish guy from Troy. Fit right in, don't I? Narrowing it down, there are two women I would like to commemorate. One is mi Boricua Elisa, the first great love of my life, but even more than that, she taught me how to make rice and beans, for which I will be eternally grateful. And the second, not to pander, is sitting right there, Laudelina Martinez. She has taught me more over this past year about how to make and market my art than I learned in the 69 years before that. And so thank you, my dear. You have been a godsend to me.
Thank you. So you've already heard from me, so I'm not going to take up much of your time, but since we've been acknowledging Brooklyn, I have to say that I'm from Queens. Right. So, I'm from Queens, New York, and in the neighborhood in which I grew up, there's a very diverse community, and so the Latino population has really influenced me throughout my life, have helped to nurture me when I was younger, taught me Spanish when I was in school, offered me guidance as I've gotten older. And so I'm just a fan of the culture, the music, the people, and I'm just truly delighted to be here with all of you, and I appreciate this honor and privilege to be with you. Thank you.
Hi everybody, John Everly from the Community Foundation for the Greater Capital Region, and I'm just so glad to be with you all tonight. And I was thinking about, it's so hard to honor just one person, but I really admire Mickey Jimenez, Capital District Latinos, the way she loves and serves the community, and that's been an inspiration to me, and I know to many others. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Pam. I'm John's wife, and we're new to the region. so glad to be here. You wanted me to come, and I just thought it would be a beautiful event. You're all just such inspiring people, and I'm so glad I could be here and hear all your stories.
Hi, I'm Lisa McNaughton. I married an Irish guy.
You got good taste.
So my mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother came to this country from Venezuela and moved to Rensselaer, New York. How that ever happened, we'll never know. But that's the household I grew up in. So I grew up in this 4 generations of people in a tiny little house in Rensselaer. Those are the women I admire.
I'm Pilar Dexter. I am retired. I was the owner and CEO of Straight Line Industries, which was the largest subcontracting company in the state of New York. We did striping, so the stripes on the highways, that's what I started. I would like to honor Laudelina and Omaira Padilla de Jesus, who's not here tonight, but they all are women that I admire here in the Capital Region. My mother came here as one of the few Latino women in 1955 in Rensselaer County, and in the 1980s she started the Spanish program for Spanish language at the Able Park School District, and both as a volunteer and as a teacher. And I honor her. She unfortunately passed away last August, but at the age of 97. And she always can encourage people, especially the cultural portion of being Mexican in our area. And for a woman named Pilar Gameinhardt, it was very difficult for her to, people used to call her Señora Gameinhardt, and they couldn't believe that she was Mexican. But I wanted to honor her as well, and I am a former honoree from the New York Chamber and of Hispanic people, and I am very proud to be here. One other thing, I also had a small art store here in Troy, which unfortunately we couldn't make a lot of money from, but it was called Casa Chiquis. So now I'm starting a new online business with Mexican art called Casita Chiquis. So if you see it, thank you very much, and I'm glad to see so many Latinas coming to the Capital District, and my mother would be proud.
Why don't we go to the back, so young man?
How you guys doing? My name is Roberto Nunez. I'm an advisor up here in the Capital Region. I'm from the Bronx. I moved up there like 2 years ago. I'm still kind of new to the area. A Latino woman that I admire is my grandmother. But, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really into my culture like that. Growing up, I grew up in a very predominantly black area. So I'm also half black, so I really identified black most of my life. But when I would tell people my name, they would start speaking to me in Spanish all the time. I kind of had to start adjusting a little bit and learning. But my grandmother is someone I admire. She never could speak English at all. I could hardly communicate with her most of my life, but she looked out for me and took care of me most of my life. So
Great.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Victor.
Come around.
So,
No. Introduce yourself on here.
Victor Godin, State Farm agent. My wife Marcella. The person I admire too. My wife Marcella. First of all, she did tremendous work with the backstretch workers up in Saratoga County and the Hispanic community and the community that still is up there. And then also Jocelyn, she works with MLK Saratoga, has done a huge impact in the last couple of years with her participation there.
Good evening. My name is Michael Roach. I'm a marketing strategist and consultant. I'm originally from the Bronx, moved up here about 23 years ago. I'm on the chamber board. Two people I want to commemorate tonight is Brenda Bottom and Laudelina Martinez. I've learned a lot from them, and they're great community builders and connectors.
I'm Diane Nickerson. I'm the head of school of a Spanish immersion elementary school in Albany called Castle Island Bilingual Montessori. My 4 children are half Dominican, and the people I admire from the Dominican Republic who have passed away are the Hermanas Miravales, and it really inspired me to be brave leaders in a revolutionary way. And the people that I admire now that are living in the capital region are the 8 Latina teachers at our school. Maria is here tonight.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Maria Arroyo. I'm from Costa Rica. I have here 7 months. It's my first time here, and thanks to Diane to invite me.
Buenas noches, me llamo Miguel Hart, de Elmira, New York, if anybody knows where that is. It's in upstate New York. And me alegra verte todos, you look terrific. And I'm here more or less solamente porque mi esposa, Laudelina Martinez, who makes everything better.
So here's the honorary, the person who's going to get the honorary.
Our guests that they have not had a chance.
I know there's, I want to introduce themselves, but
My name is Ladan. I had the pleasure of working at Centro Civico and serving the community for 30 years. And one of the many Latina women comes to my mind through the years that I worked that I love and admire, and many of you are in this room also. But the woman that had a major impact on me is the woman that you're honoring today, Carmen Perez Hogan.
You are. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Hi, my name is Luis Marquez, and I'm a New Yorker from El Barrio, one of the ladies on 15th Street in Lexington. I've lived here since 1985, like many of you. Came to go to school and ended up marrying someone who's born and raised in Troy and fell in love with Troy. I am one of the founders of Troy for Black Lives. We were the group that held 11,000 people here in the city of Troy and held a peaceful march to make sure that the city is accountable to us as Black and brown people, because it is very important. I am a Black Boricua. I've identified this way my entire life, so brother, we'll talk. And who do I look up to in the capital region? I don't know if any of you remember El Centro, but El Centro was a local community-based program here at Taylor Apartments, and it was made by women, Puerto Rican mostly, who lived at Taylor's. And they did everything they could to help their community. And LaDon was great to always reach out to us in Troy and really be supportive. But Ceci Alfonso is someone that I don't know if you know who she is. Yes. And many of you might know her for her work as a forensic social worker. But what you may not know, because I'm a Black feminist, is that Ceci was part of Combahee River Collective. So if you ever read about Black feminism, and if you know who Audre Lorde is, June Jordan, Barbara Smith, right? Ceci was amongst those women. And Ceci is Puerto Rican and Cuban as you can actually get. And she is an unsung hero for many of us who are Black feminists. Because little did we know que una sequilo estaba en el cuarto. You understand? And so that is my share. Little did we know that amongst these Black American lesbian women who got kicked out of the Black Power movement because they were lesbians, they were creating Black feminism. There was Ceci Alfonso, who is still alive and lives in Troy.
Hello, my name is Joanna. This is my daughter Miriana.
for Coney Island. I came up here in '06, just to get away from Brooklyn, to show my kids a better life. I have two people that inspire me. One is my best friend, Michael Mike. She's one of the oldest, they have one of the oldest families in Troy, the LeBoys. And then I was going through a little family issue in the Troy School District, and Miss Luz Marquez has been by my side, has been my rod, has been my rock. So I appreciate everything that you do for us and for the rest of the young, beautiful kids and what we're actually going through. I've been here since '06, so when I got this and I just wanted to sit around some beautiful Latinos and just to get to know everybody.
Hi, my name is Gina Kim. Oh, Gina On. So I'm used to it, but after a year. But I have a restaurant in downtown Troy called Sunny's Farming Kitchen, and I'm currently finishing up law school. But I think some Latina women who've been very influential to me. We have English classes as a part of our programming, and I know, every day when I was teaching, and even when I work with these women, like I feel inspired by the resilience and just the tenacity to learn. And I have my friend here with me today, Adazve Verda, who I'm also very inspired by. I don't think I tell you this enough, but we work together at Catholic Charities in New York City together, and she's like a big sister to me. So.
Hi, I'm Peter. Moved here not too long ago. I'm from the Bronx, so a lot of exposure to the Latin community there. I haven't had much here, so that's what I'm kind of here to do. A little more exposure to the other communities here in Troy.
Hello, everybody. My name is Gilbert Rodriguez. I actually moved to Troy in 2017 from Puerto Rico, and yeah, that's me.
Well, I hope this hasn't been too much of a kumbaya moment, but I thought that's really great to hear from everybody in the audience. Now our panel will be speaking. Yvette Morales Diaz is someone who is part of the board of the Castle Island Bilingual Montessori School. She also retired from the Dormitory Authority. And I met Yvette at the State Education Department. We were part of the group that founded 100 Hispanic Women. And here's Ceci, by the way, who was being mentioned earlier. So, So Yvette is someone who will certainly help us remember a number of people.
Oh, I have a lot of different ways of going about this stuff. And I have to admit that it seems like my memory is not working as well as it used to. I'm confusing names. Who was it I missed? This Hernandez or was it Martinez? But nonetheless, I have something that's handy dandy here. And what I have is, and I don't want to steal time from my colleagues on the panel. I have a listing that I found from the 100 Hispanic Women's Organization, which really, in my opinion, is a gem because it has kept a kind of a history of the women that belong there, and there are many other women that most probably, if I went through, but yes, I came to Albany via a program that Laudelina and Carmen Perez Hogan, those two in particular, were part of a larger group who wanted to bring minorities into the state education department. Now, that sounds like a very simple task for most people, but it was not. And these folks really battled and took a lot of spankings, I guess that's the way I would call it, to be able to introduce this program. It was very clear when I got there and met both Laudelina and Carmen, that was over 30 years ago, that these women were people to be reckoned with. You know, Carmen Perez Hogan, who was honored today, established or was identified as the first head of a bilingual program for the state of New York. And Laudelina was out there looking at colleges and making sure that they were doing in universities and they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. And as you know, most of the universities and colleges in those days in New York State were run by white men. So when she came in and started telling them what didn't look that good, I know again she got a lot of spankings. So two real powerhouses. When I arrived here, I like to proudly say I'm a third generation Latina from el barrio. And starting with my great-great-grandmother, they came over. El barrio was a wonderful place to grow up. And there were a lot of community events, and you know, it was great because I never felt that I was different being a Latina in the barrio for obvious reasons, right? But when I came here to Albany, I felt very isolated and very, very alone. And I quickly wanted to connect with other people. Outside of Carmen and Laudelina, I got to meet a slew of other women through an organization called Nacobro. Now, Gilda, where are you?
Happy?
I met Gilda in Nacobro, Doris Powell in Nacobro, helped me along, Delilah Reyes. I mean, there were so many other women. You want to name a couple?
Was Luz Molina part of that?
Yes, Luz Molina. So these are all names of women that really came together to be part of this organization. And I guess it was both a political as well as a social network. And we knew each other, and that helped us to be able to connect with each other on a work level as well, because we had each other as contacts in different agencies, which was very helpful. Moving forward, I met the Luz Allende, and come on, you're gonna help me. What was the name of the other women? Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Anyway, again, I'll mention some more names. But there was also a smaller group of women who were actually in higher level positions in government and have been actively, politically active, and they helped many of us along in getting promotions and getting exposure. Fast forward, I met a woman named Janet Sapio Mehta. Now, I didn't know Janet. And we met at an event, and there was also another woman named Inez Nieves. So both of them, we were just chatting. She said, there's an organization in New York City run by a woman named Shirley Reminiscence, and another powerhouse. And even don't let the last name fool you, she was very lucky. So we want to consider opening a chapter of 100 Hispanic women here in the Capital District. So we spoke about it. We identified different women who we felt were going to be able to contribute to at least the formation of that organization here in the Capital District. Laudelina obviously was one of them. We had Denise Pelosi, who was also on there. And Maria Vidal, thank you. So we were able to, believe it or Maria Perez, yes. We were able to bring in and enroll about 146 Latinas. I would say 146 members, of which about 130 were Latinas. It was amazing. And so, you know, with that said, I guess I just wanted to throw out Dr. Cecilia Sands.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. She was really at the forefront of and very active in the Centro Cívico. So I wanted to mention her name as well. Today we have people like the Gary Bartolina. I don't know how many of you are aware of her Muy Fancy initiative that she has up there. She's now an entrepreneur. We work together for years. So I don't want to take the thunder from the other women that are here. I have so many names here, but what I do want to end by saying this, that for me, where I really learned about leadership were really from my grandmothers. And so I want to recognize them. So I have to recognize Doña Nidia Marale, and also recognize my other grandmother, that I used to call her Pita, but Elvira Morales. So they both, in their own rights, were truly leaders during some very, very difficult time. And as a result, here I stand, right? So, thank you. Thank you.
Grandmothers are really important. I'm going to ask Jenny Munoz to speak now. Jenny is in the Office for New Americans in the New York State Department of New York State.
It's a mouthful. Yes.
State. New York State Department of State.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, thank you for the invitation. It's really nice to hear from everyone the stories of the women who have impacted you. I'm thinking about what to say. I wanted to first acknowledge that I was asked by our executive director of the New York State Office for New Americans. She's like, I can't go, but I really want to go, and can you do this for me? And I was like, yes, I would love to be part of this, get to know people in my community. I'm originally from Dutchess County, which is not too far away from here. It's an hour and a half south. So I just want to acknowledge the women who've inspired me early on in my career. I've been working in affordable housing and community development. I started out as an AmeriCorps Vista volunteer working in community building and organizing. And I have to say I was very inspired as a young woman starting her career by older women who were immigrants and were giving their time, their energy to do events, to create events, honoring Latino heritage, bringing resources to communities that are underserved. And in thinking of the women that I met and that mentored me and encouraged me to join them to meetings, Erika Castel, who was at Capstone and is now in Western New York at another not-for-profit serving immigrants and refugees. She was at that time working to support migrant farm workers. And in addition to her work, she was hosting events for the community, bringing resources, health resources, we were both together as volunteers with La Guelaguetza Festival, which is a festival that the Oaxacan community organizes every summer at Morias Park in Poughkeepsie. And we're all volunteers trying to acknowledge that this Oaxacan community exists in Poughkeepsie, that they want to pass down their heritage to their kids. They're doing dances, folkloric dances. I'm, learning as an Ecuadorian about all the Oaxacan heritage and, all the delicious food like sopes and mole and everything. So I'm delighted to meet other women who are also invested in supporting the community, connecting resources, celebrating our culture and our heritage, and helping bring these information and culture to the next generation, which is so important as immigrants as well. So I want to acknowledge Erika Castel and from the Hudson Valley, also Gabriela Owens, who works for the Department of Health in Dutchess County. But in addition to her full-time job, she's also a community advocate, creating her own not-for-profit to support Latinos in Dutchess County. Whether it's acknowledging a need to connect parents who may have a child with special needs with resources, whether it's acknowledging an interest to host an event like Guelaguetza. She's there, and she's eager to provide her energy, her talent, her passion to support the bringing of resources to the community. So I'm now working at the New York State Office for New Americans, and I want to say that those experiences early on in community development and affordable housing, it helped us to, or helped our office to develop a pilot. Now we have a pilot that's a civic leadership program. And in the capital region, we're working with LifeWorks. So I know someone mentioned Crystal Whitley Hernandez, who is amazing. The organization that she leads is doing a pilot of a civic leadership program. And this pilot aims to help immigrants connect with local and state resources, thinking about the pandemic, misinformation, thinking about the 2020 census, the need to connect with resources, and thinking about how there are already leaders in the community that have that trust. We are currently piloting, it started in February, pilot in LifeWorks, a pilot in Chinese American Planning Council in New York City, and then a third pilot in agribusiness child development in the Hudson Valley that serves migrant farm workers. And what I noticed about the pilot sites is that they're all engaging women. Fascinating. Women are there. They're giving their time. They're there to learn about the resources, thinking about all the work that I've done in community building and organizing. You have las comadres, trusted women who know the answers to the questions, will tell you about how to get your child enrolled in school, or will help you navigate. So la comadre is a term in Latin culture for those that don't speak Spanish. That's sort of like when you have a godchild, you call the godmother la comadre. But it's also an informal word where it's someone that I trust and someone who can bring that information to my community, la comadre. There's a lot of women participating in these pilots, and it just speaks to how women, they bring people together. They create a sense of welcome, a sense of connection, and in thinking about this invitation, I want to acknowledge the women who have connected me, have helped nurture my own dreams and aspirations, and have invited me to join spaces such as this. So those are my thoughts, and I'd love to connect with all of you as well.
We have a young entrepreneur in our midst, Mark Kovia. So we'd love to hear from you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Laudelina Martinez, you're going to see on the program, it says Mars Cobia. And how that happened was I wanted to rebrand myself. Although I love my name, I was like, I want to leave an impression, something very memorable. Everybody knows their planets. They're going to remember Mars, right? It's already working, I know. Okay, so I combined my name with my mother's name, and that's Mars Cobia. And I am the owner of a business now. It's Mars Productions. And the focus of my business is taking my passion and interest in video production. I'm sure everybody remembers home videos. And just like the way your heart feels when you watch a home video, and it just feels like whoever was in it lived forever, right? And so video has this element of legacy. Just like any organization, it has a level of legacy. And now there are strategies and avenues that you can take to leave your legacy, such as social media. And not everybody kind of sees it, but doesn't know what to do, you know? We're kind of just announcing things. We're kind of, hey, sending it to one person, sending it to 5 people. And that's okay, that's normal, that's what but one thing is that we can do more with it. It has a strategy, it has a platform. The only thing is, it's just overwhelming. You know, there's so many different strategies. But you have to kind of pinpoint who you really want to be inspired by and what you really want to emulate when you're pushing your mission, because that's what you are informing people truly about, and you're creating advocates with that mission. So I saw this platform, I saw the potential in it, and I was like, you know what? I have to merge the need for video and media production and a strategy and assisting someone, and that natural element of being a woman that we're just supporting. We just want to support that natural feeling of, we are natural creators as well, but as that creator element, we just know, we see value everywhere we go, right? But we don't have enough time. You know, we're creating something, we're part of an organization, and we see the value, but we need help sharing the value. And that's kind of where I come in. And that's pretty much what I do. But I hope that in some way, if you had any sort of dream, if you had any sort of idea, that you use the platform in any way and you're not shy, because that's the modern way of just the opportunities there for everyone to grow. Yes, you're in this room, but you can be everywhere if you just turn on that record button, if you just hit that share button. So as my ending, I'm just going to say a few names. So I want to start out with Livia Coriano Ruiz. You know, sometimes you just need to talk, and sometimes you just have the perfect people listening, and she's been one of them. My friend Janixa Rivera, middle school friends, she just, my rock all through life. And some women that I want to recognize that brought me here today, because it just happened very suddenly. Lucy Barone, I just met her, I told her what I did, and she was very excited. She invited me to a network at the serving job that I still have, and it was the Hispanic Commerce Marketing. Well, it wasn't marketing, it was just a union. And then I met Diane, and Diane brought me to this opportunity, and then Laude sent me this amazing email. And so if you have a dream, obviously people need to be a part of your dream to make it happen, and they just need to believe in you. And lastly, of course, I have to honor my sisters, Christina Santana, Zenobia Santana, and my mother, Zenobia Santana, because obviously they're everything, and you guys know that. So thank you so much.
So I'd like to ask Laudelina to come and say some things about Carmen Perez Hogan. I must tell you, there are 3 names that come to my mind when I first came to to the capital region. One is Carmen Perez Hogan, because she was at the State Education Department, and I came to work there in the higher ed office. The other one was Elia Christensen, who was involved with personnel for Mario Cuomo. She was the head of the personnel office for Mario Cuomo. That's a long time ago. And it turns out that Elia Christensen and I shared something. She had grown up on the street where my grandmother lived. So it was a very weird thing to come to Albany, New York, and find out that this woman had grown in that street that I used to visit, my mother. And the other one is Denise Fernandez. Dolores Fernandez.
Dolores, yes.
Dolores Fernandez was not only in the Division for Youth, which is sort of like the super, how would I say, head of education, and then she ended up becoming president of Hostos Community College in the Bronx. So those are three names I wanted to mention, but Carmen in particular. And of course, there's my friend Ladan, who's the honorary Latina. Yes. And all of you, I now say you are honorary Latinos.
So I have the pleasure of saying a few words about Carmen Perez Hogan, that you have heard her name a few times tonight. Unfortunately, due to prior commitment, Carmen could not be with us tonight, but we can tell a little bit about her. I learned about Carmen over 30 years ago when...
you speak a little bit louder.
Sure. Over 30 years ago when one of the board members at a school district, Board of Education in Amsterdam School District, made a public comment that Latino children are not as smart as Caucasian children. And that became the headline of Amsterdam Recorder. So you can imagine how could I face all the beautiful Latino children that I had the honor and pleasure of serving. And I felt powerless. And from one person to another person, eventually I heard Carmen's name, and I called, and I had the opportunity to talk to her. Then later on, I learned that she was the director of bilingual education at New York State Department of Education. To make a long story short, Carmen came to Amsterdam School District. Carmen started an investigation, and through education that she provided, obviously, few of the board members did not get re-elected again, and a lawsuit against Amsterdam School District was filed, and the kids learned that they are not only as smarter as everybody else, but they are bilingual. They speak 2 languages, and they have the capacity to communicate with more people. So that's a little story about Carmen. Carmen and her family came from Puerto Rico to New York City, where she went to public school and she graduated. Then she went to St. Joseph College and got her bachelor's degree, and Hunter College, her master's degree in bilingual education. She taught a school. She ended up at SUNY Albany and eventually New York State Department of Education. And in 2005, after influencing policies on education, because her passion was every opportunity that exists for a speaker of English language, native speaker of English language, should exist for every child, regardless of what language and which country and what color was their skin. And she was passionate. When she would talk about education and children, there was no one that could not listen to her, no one that could be opposing what she wanted to do and the impact that she left behind. But she retired, and while she was at the state and through today, and to all her retirement, she was a force. Anytime you would hear her name, you wouldn't say which event, what I need to do. You would say, I'm in. What do you want me to do? Type of thing. Her home was, and still to some extent is, where you go to start committees to serve Latino community. When we had many meetings for Hurricane Maria victims and strategy and fundraising that we did. Every Latino, it doesn't matter which region in the state of New York that knew her, could use her home for fundraising. Politicians, judges, you name it. Her doors always been open to serve the Latinos and the community. I personally had the pleasure of having her 30 years, not only as personal friend, but as a friend of Centro Civico. There was not 1 year went by that she would not make contribution of variety of things for auction, for us to raise funds. So there was so many opportunities that she created for me and for the organization. Many times I would call or I would go to visit her and I would say, I gotta set the stage, I gotta start telling the story, and then ask her for help. On the second sentence, she would say, what can I do for you, Lada? She would read me right through, and you didn't need to do much to get her to do whatever in her power to do for you. So for me, it's an honor to mention her name and talk about her involvement. She has been on the board of La Salle School and supporting La Salle, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, obviously one of the founder of 100 Hispanic Women. There are so many stories we can tell, Carmen, and if you know her, you know what I'm talking about, and if you don't know her, always remember that name. And know that it doesn't matter where we are and what we do. Someone is watching us, somebody is impacted by what we say and what we do. And we want it or not, we might impact in lives, and we might be mentoring someone without they asking us. I think she was really a perfect example of the mayor's quote from Roberto Clemente, that if you can make a difference in someone's life, do that. And she has done that all her life. Thanks.
I just would like to take a minute to ask the members of the board of the New York Capital Region Hispanic Chamber to be recognized. I saw Victor Godin, who began, and Diane Nickerson, who is the founder and Castle Island Bilingual Montessori School. Check it out. It's really an important place. Laudelina Michael Roach, who is our techie and marketing guru. And I see that another one of our honorees is in the back. That's Joe Bonilla, Leanne Bonilla. And we also have Eli Dexter, of course, who you read earlier. Thank you so much for coming. Have a drink, meet somebody else, enjoy yourself. Thank you so much.